I really love football. When I was about 13 years old, the guitar was going quite well. I was winning a few youth competitions, playing on TV, this and that. But I really loved playing football. Why I was not really practicing the guitar, I would be on the streets playing. I was strongly considering to be a football player. But of course it's really a difficult thing because any corner you find a next Neymar. My father was an amateur guitarist. I would always see the guitar around the house, and I tried to put in the guitar. It was just about right, and then I could start playing a couple of notes. And my father then took me to the local teacher, and that's how I started. Beatrice, for me, is one of the most beautiful songs ever written. That's why I chose that. I love the lyrics and the melody. The combination of the two of them is something really, really special. And the guitar has this lyrical power. We were able to capture that lyricism of the song without the lyrics. It's a bit of an experimental guitar, which was made for Paul Galbraith, who's a Scottish guitarist who plays the guitar as a cello. So that's why it makes more sense to have the frets that way. It is a bit of a challenge to play it. At the beginning was more just to actually find myself, because the technique is different. You have to somehow adjust. It doesn't have a huge projection, but it has a really big range of colors, which is what I like the most in a guitar. Because Fabio Zanon was my mentor and idol. When I was about 17, I said, Fabio, I really want to study abroad. And I said, well, I should just try a place at the Royal Academy of Music. And then I came here, and in about 2 weeks I saw a good amount of my idols walking around the school. In the first years, I wanted to immerse myself in the British culture. And then after having that immersion, then I started reconnecting with Brazilian culture, because I was losing my identity. The essential thing was missing, which was that identity of the culture, the sense of belonging coming from somewhere. Black musicians on classical music is not really a thing. It has become, over the last 5-6 years, a bit more. Sheikh, who had just won the BBC Young Musician of the Year, together with the Chineke Orchestra. That's an orchestra like for black and minority people. João Luis, who has been truly one of my main references, because he's a black guitarist who was the one that I always look up to, and that sort of reference and representation of a different black guitarist out there playing exceptionally well. That was really important for me to see that happening at that scale. The duets are really important for me in this album, because I'm doing with people that I really admire. Sheikh, who's like a really dear friend of mine, now I consider as brother. The aria from the Baquianas Brasileiras number 5 is such a beautiful melody that works perfectly with guitar and cello. It's a special combination between the two instruments that blend perfectly. Saudade is a mixture between nostalgia and longing for something. When I play this Prelude, for example, I have that feeling immediately. It takes me back to that moment when I was like learning, and my relation with my father and my family. And music really connects you to those memories really strongly. Those arrangements were done by one of my heroes, which is Sergio Assad, one of the halves from the Assad brothers. He wrote actually most of the arrangements, so he was really such a honor having him on the record as well. And the other one's an arrangement that was already done by my dear friend Emanuel Sovic of the piece Gracias a la Vida. And since the first time I heard him play, I said, please, just write that down and can I have it? Because it's an exceptional, beautiful gem. All of the other tracks, I selected each of them as songs that I connect to in a very vivid way. We were trying to decide something with a bit more lively, because there were too many really beautiful songs, but it was lacking a bit of punch. And then Sergio said, well, Assanhado would be a great idea. It's a very lively piece. It's originally written by Jacó do Bandolim, and not many people has done that on solo guitar. It's really a dream come true, the opportunity to be signed by Decca. All my heroes recorded for the label, especially Andrés Segovia, being the one chosen to carry through that legacy is amazing, but it's such a responsibility. So yeah, I'll just put my heart on it and try to say everything that I feel about music through this record and the others to come.